Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your reading. My name's Emma from SoulSync Expression and I'm going to go through your 2024 reading today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the general messages from Spirit. As you can see, I've already pulled the oracle cards for that just to save on time. And then we're going to go into a love message and we're going to ask about your person, the past and present energies, how they view you, how they view the connection or how they feel, and then any next steps that they might take and any advice for yourself. And then we're going to go into your career or business and we're going to look again at the current and past energies. Then we're going to look at what your next goal is, any advice on how to get there, any blockages, and then lastly we're going to get advice from Spirit in general for 2024. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. So I'm going to read from the oracle cards. With this one is To the Sea. So the meanings are being in the flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together and a natural pattern of events. Isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Come to the Edge, which basically talks about how you just need to take the risk without calculating it right now, jump straight in. It's kind of like the Fool card in tarot. And it does talk about just being fearless and making that bold move that you want to make, but you're too scared to make at the moment. So then we have Full Moon in Pisces, Balance, Spirituality and Practicality. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make a concerted effort to move towards your goals. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question and the solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. Answers will come. You're in a super romantic but not super realistic state. Follow your intuition. It won't let you down. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. The person you're inquiring about is a soulmate, and avoid substance abuse. I also just want to mention with the other card on the back of the deck of this one with Come to the Edge. It also did say that you need to lead with your heart and your soul right now and not your head. And then at the back of the deck of this one, we have Be Bold and Make the First Move, Cardinal Moon. So, with this one here, we have Ant Spirit, Time to Collaborate. When Ant Spirit comes to visit, it's to celebrate the benefits of working in a partnership with others as part of a community or tribe. Spirit reminds you that to build your dream, you need to work with others, accept help, and trust in your most important partnership, the one you have with Spirit. Your intentions will come to fruition if you remain awake and focused on co-creating your reality with others and with Spirit. Remember that the world around you can easily seduce you if you don't have some sort of practice or discipline like meditation to keep you on track as you build the life you desire. Connecting with others and having accountability partners can be very helpful, as it's unlikely that everyone will fall asleep at the same time. The other message Ant Spirit holds is that you are now in an auspicious time to ask for help and receive it. Whether you need help assembling a team, finding a new tribe, or requesting assistance from others who are there for you, everything is working to support you right now. And then at the back of the deck we have Giraffe Spirit, See the Big Picture. So with this one we have Unbound, Releasing Soul Patterns, Contracts, and Past Lives. It's time to release old soul stories that have been playing out in your life. They are coming up to be healed. There has never been a safer time to clear these patterns than right now. Take a look at the patterns in your life that you are ready to release. Ancient vows and contracts that your soul made that have an expiry date. It could be a vow of silence or chastity or poverty. It is time to unwind from them. This is the life in which you free yourself from trauma of past lives. What old ways of being have an expiry date? When you name them, you claim them, and they stop holding power over you. When acknowledging these old patterns, it's also important to acknowledge how they have served you up until now. For example, a soul pattern of playing small, caused by a soul fear of being seen or sharing your voice, would have served you by keeping you safe. In order to grow, you now need to soften by receiving and calling in support. It's time to unbind from the old ways that are no longer sustainable. I release all old soul stories, vows, contracts, and patterns that are no longer aligned with who I came here to be in the present time. I carry the lessons, growth, and gifts, but I no longer choose to live the same story. May I be unbound, unbound, forever unbound. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have Mintakan, longing for home, belonging, and the original light workers. And this card generally talks about how you are going through a period in your life that you feel like you can never find an actual home, or that a feeling of belonging, and that it's time to let that go and be okay to find your soul tribe, or the people who you feel most comfortable with, and belong with them. So basically the general messages that we have here is basically go with the flow and see where life takes you, as well as take the leap and focus, lead with your head and your soul and not your heart. We have the balanced spirituality and practicality, and then we also had be bold and make the first move. And then with the ant spirit, it's time to ask for help if you need it. Asking for help isn't a weakness, it's actually a strength. And then with the back of the deck is see the bigger picture. And then we have this, which is kind of let go of anything that's not serving you and untie yourself from any of those issues that you might have had in the past, as well as you'll find your soul tribe and you'll find that belonging or that home that you've been looking for. So the first thing I want to ask is, how do you view yourself? Okay, so we have the Six of Swords, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Tower. So with the Six of Swords, you could feel that you're moving away from rough seas to calmer waters and you want peace for 2024. You're also quietly determined and have direction for your goals. You see yourself as someone who brings resolution and clarity, and you're healing and very resilient. So this card generally would represent Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra just because of the mental clarity, but don't take that as literal, it is just the energy. With the back of the deck being the Tower then, so you could be a bit unpredictable or have sudden emotional shifts. Maybe you have mood swings. You do bring light to hidden truths as well, which is quite typical of Sagittarius, that you want the truth. And you also could feel like you evoke strong reactions from others. So the next thing I want to ask are, what are your wants for 2024? Sagittarius's wants, please, for 2024. So we have the Eight of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck we have the King of Cups. So with the Eight of Wands, basically you want swift change, clear communication, and rapid progression, and you just want transparency and directness in 2024. With the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, so you also want emotional balance within yourself and wisdom, and to be able to provide emotional support and guidance to others as well. You could also want to deal with any emotional challenges that you might have. Or you may want a partner who can provide emotional stability and wisdom and support. Someone who's very kind and caring and loving in general. So the next thing I want to ask are, what are your fears for 2024? So we have the Six of Pentacles, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Hierophant. With the Six of Pentacles, you could be fearing a lack of balance, or maybe generosity that's being used manipulatively. You could also be very worried about you giving too much and not receiving the same in return. Then with the Hierophant, so you could be worried about a lack of flexibility or traditional or rigid structures. You could also have a fear of commitment or not receiving commitment, because this sometimes is a card about marriage. And also maybe belief systems could be an issue for you as well. So next I'm going to ask, what are the good things coming for you in 2024? What's working for you? So we have the Ace of Pentacles, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Nine of Cups. So with the Ace of Pentacles, the good things that are coming to you are likely new financial or physical opportunities. It could also be a fresh start with potential growth or prosperity. Basically, hard work will be rewarded, and there'll be new stable relationships as well. Then with the Nine of Cups at the bottom of the deck, so that's about satisfaction, fulfillment, and dreams coming true. So that all could be coming to you in 2024. It is also about achieving personal goals and finding joy in the process. Hard work also pays off with this card, so you've got double hard work will pay off. And then also you could be filled with joy and abundance and just in a state of emotional and spiritual harmony with this card. So next thing I want to ask is, what are the things that are going to be working against you? So what are the challenges for you in 2024? So 2 cards fell out there. So we have the King of Cups again. We have the Ace of Wands. And at the back of the deck, we have Judgment. So with the King of Cups as something that's working against you, it could be that you need to balance your emotions and be mature with your emotional reactions. Just don't react too quickly, and use rational thinking in personal and professional situations over emotional thinking. So with the Ace of Wands, that could be that maybe harnessing or directing new creative energy or inspiration could be an issue for you. You could also have a lack of focus on creative ideas, or maybe a lack of capitalizing on any new opportunities that are coming in. And enthusiasm also could be challenging for you. Then with Judgment at the back of the deck, so either major decisions need to be made with Judgment, or you have an actual fear of being judged. But you could also be feeling the pressure of other people's expectations. You also could be dealing with some sort of repercussions from any past decisions or choices that you might have made, and that could come to bite you in the bum in 2024, unfortunately, but you'll get through it. So last thing then I just want to ask is the outcome or the theme of 2024. Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Swords. So with the Nine of Swords, you might be overthinking or have some sort of like analysis paralysis. What the advice would be is just think before you speak. Also, the Nine of Swords is about fears, so acknowledge your fears and actively work towards finding some sort of solutions for those fears. You could be worrying like this guy over here, but just remember that it's a mindset and you can actually control your thoughts. Just don't fall into the trap of negative thinking in 2024. And then with the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, so you could have a breakthrough in 2024, which can bring you a lot of clarity. You can also cut through any confusion, and there might also be new beginnings, and truth and understanding will be prioritized for you in 2024. So that's it for the general messages. I'm going to move on to the love side of things. Okay, so Sagittarius, I've pulled your oracle cards again, just to save time. So we have by the book, and the meanings are abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting culture or family customs, and universal laws. In a relationship message, getting along with others entails understanding and respecting who they have become as a result of their environment, culture, and experience. Find the middle ground that allows the relationship to flourish while honoring the individuality of the other person. Play things by the book instead of trying to break the rules or pressure others to conform to the way that you want to do them. Your connection will deepen as a result. And then come to the edge, which is at the back of the deck again. So there's clearly a message there for you. So we have courage, taking a leap of faith, overcoming fear, and accepting risk. In a relationship message, it's scary to be truly intimate with someone, to allow him or her to see all of you, especially the parts that you've kept hidden and protected. Now is the time to take the risk and let yourself be seen, truly seen. It's important that you speak up, voice what you need, state who you are, say what you hope for. This is not the time to play it safe, but it's a time to take a leap of faith. You'll be glad you did. If you're seeking a relationship, the same applies. Take one step toward the gods, and they will deliver what you truly desire. So already we have basically just jump straight in, and also have no expectations of how you want this person to be, because they are an individual themselves, and you need to allow them to be who they are, and you need to be who you are instead of trying to turn them into what you want them to be. So the first question I'm going to ask is, who is your person? So we have Justice coming out, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Four of Cups. So with Justice, your person could be very fair-minded, very balanced, and operates with a strong sense of ethics and equality. They do make decisions based on what's right rather than what brings them personal gain. And they could be very rational or objective and very emotionally detached when they're resolving issues. Then with the Four of Cups, they could be very disengaged or uninterested. They could also be the type of person who's always lost in their thoughts, or they could also be very emotionally distant at this time. They could also be very dissatisfied with what they currently have in their life. And they could be also very deeply emotionally sensitive, and that's why they act as if they're not attached. So next thing I want to ask is, what is the past energies with you and your person? So we have the Knight of Cups, and at the back of the deck we have the Nine of Wands. So with the Knight of Cups, you could have had a time that was very passionate and romantic, loving, and emotions ran deep between the two of you. There was also a deep affection, and love was intense and consuming. So basically you loved each other very much. We also, with the Nine of Wands here, have that in the past there was probably a phase where you both tried to stand firm and be resilient. You needed to be defensive against external parties, so it could have been protecting your relationship against maybe other people's opinions or money or something like that. It did test the relationship. If it's an ex, then you just felt the need to be defensive due to maybe repeated conflicts or issues, and there were struggles and you were maintaining boundaries and personal space took a priority. So I want to see, what are the current energies with you and your person? So we have the Page of Cups, and then at the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Pentacles. So with the Page of Cups, if you're single, it could be an innocent or pure attraction or a budding romantic connection that's starting, and it's the beginning of a genuine bond. If it's a current relationship, then you're entering a phase of like a childlike love or creativity, and you'll both have emotional openness. It's going to be filled now with playful interactions and maybe emotional vulnerability and just creative expression in general. If it's an ex, then there are lingering feelings of innocence and memories of the earlier stages of your love. So you could be remembering, or they could be remembering as well, when the relationship was fresh and exciting. You probably do want to get back with them, or they might want to get back with you, but they want to get back into a loving relationship. Then with the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, so if you're single or it's a current relationship, then the same applies for these, but a new level of stability and groundedness is developing now, and you both just feel secure, supported, and valued with each other. You could be creating a more stable foundation together as well. If it's an ex, then it could be a new beginning that's related to financial matters or personal growth. It also could be that you're learning and growing from past experiences. And also sometimes this card could mean that you're resolving any remaining financial matters with your ex. So let's see, how do they view you? So they view you as the Eight of Swords. And at the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Swords. So with the Eight of Swords, if you're single, they see you as someone they can't really offer a new beginning to because they lack the initiative to make the first move. They also could be worried about taking responsibility for if things go wrong, and they want you to make the first move. That doesn't mean you should make the first move, but that's what it means. The person also needs to change their mindset before they can go anywhere. And this could also be vice versa, so it could be you feeling like this as well. If it is an existing relationship, then they see you as trapped in your own anxiety about romance. It could be that they also see that you're afraid to make a move, or that you don't have the courage to take action in what's bothering you. Just be honest with how you feel and have a conversation with your partner. If it's an ex, then they do see you as a domineering partner maybe, or feel like you might have trapped them, like they can't get out of their head about you. They do still have feelings for you, but they're afraid to make the first move to reconcile, and they would rather go with the flow than take charge. Basically, they need to rely on their own voice and be active if they want a fresh start and they wanted to succeed. So with the Ace of Swords, then for singles and people who are currently in a relationship, it's the same thing. So they basically see you as an inspiration and are smitten with you. They want to move forward with you basically, and they feel like they can talk to you easily and about anything, but there's generally just some mutual respect and understanding between the two of you. If it's an ex, then they see you as a great partner who understands them completely, and they've come to an epiphany that you two had something very special. They realize that also conversations were effortless, and they want to make things work. They've realized that the grass isn't greener without you, basically. Let's see, so how... Okay, I didn't even need to ask, but I was going to ask, how do they feel about you? How do they see the connection? Okay, so we have the Tower, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So with the Tower, if you're single, you've changed their view on life, and meeting you was very unexpected, maybe. The relationship is off to a good start because there's a lot of sexual attraction here. If you're in a current relationship, they have explosive feelings for you, and change might be coming. It could be good change, it could be bad change, but whatever change it is, it's going to change the relationship in a permanent way. Just listen to your intuition. If it's an ex, then they feel fundamentally changed by the relationship, and they're questioning what they want in life now. So reconciliation is possible once they figure out things for themselves. Right now it's not possible, but once they figure it out, it will be possible. And then with the Wheel of Fortune at the back of the deck, these are both cards about changes, but except this is a card generally about positive change, most of the time anyway, and this one is most of the time about negative change, but these two together, I'm leaning more towards positive, but it could go either way. So with the Wheel of Fortune, if you're single, they feel very positively about you and feel like it's maybe a divine connection, because this is also about karma and basically the wheel working constantly. So if it's a current relationship, then their feelings are changing in a more positive direction, and there could be unexpected changes in your relationship, but they are adaptable. They feel very lucky to be with you. A true partner is someone who can go through life with you and take the good and the bad, so just remember that. And then if it's an ex, then they still have very positive feelings about you from time to time, but one moment they feel like you're meant to be together, and the next they're quite unsure about it. So there is still chemistry, and reconciliation is possible, but there needs to be some sort of resolve to their hot and cold energy, basically. They need to figure out what they want. So let's see, what are the next actions? So next actions for Sagittarius' person. So we have the Four of Pentacles. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Eight of Wands again. So with the Four of Pentacles, so they want to keep you for themselves. They haven't fully healed from past trauma, or they're scared of being hurt again as well. But they could also be a little bit jealous and clingy, so just maybe beware of that. If it's an existing relationship, then again, they could be jealous and clingy, and they might be dwelling on the past. It could be possible that you might have cheated on them in the past. I don't know, that's just for some of you. But if it's not that, then they're just projecting from a past relationship, basically. And then if it's an ex, then they regret ending it with you, but they don't want to display it to other people, so they don't want to show other people that they regret that. They would rather act as if they're unaffected, even though the breakup really affected them. Deep inside, they are still insecure, and they'll have to overcome this if they do want to reconcile with you. But then with the Eight of Wands, it's kind of a bit of an opposing energy. So we have, if you're single, they want to move quickly and with purpose with you. If it's a current relationship, then they want more commitment, or they might want to take it to the next step. But they basically just want a lot more intimacy. And it's an exciting time for the relationship in general. And then if it's an ex, they want to come back into your life soon. And it could be reconciliation, but it could also be friendship or communication. But things will work out well with this, whatever it is. So lastly, then I just want to ask about advice. So what is advice just for you, Sagittarius, in your love life? So we have the Seven of Pentacles. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Moon. Again, quite opposing energies. So Seven of Pentacles, as the advice would be, just take the leap and trust the person that you're seeing in 2024. You both need to put the effort in with each other though with this card, so the work needs to be put in. And basically love takes work, and this person is worth that effort. You also probably both have hope to make this work, and if it's an ex, there's both secretly hope from both sides to make it work. But then with the moon, then this person could have mixed feelings about you as well. So just make sure that the person actually makes their intentions clear before you jump into it with them. And then also just trust your intuition. And as a worst case scenario with the moon, something could be hidden sometimes. So let's pull some romance angels for you, Sagittarius. Okay, so 2 are coming out here. So we have forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. We have religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So it could be that you're on different paths spiritually. We have, this could be the one, you've already met the romantic partner you seek. So 2 popped out there. So we have past life relationship, you have known each other before. And we have give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. And then at the bottom of the deck, we also have love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So it's pretty straightforward. They could be the one. Give it a chance. It could be someone from the past, or it could be a very tight soul connection. And also probably the most important message is learn to love yourself first before you get into any relationship. So next I'm going to try and pull some messages from your person, what they could say if they weren't holding anything back. But mostly these messages do come out for people who are in separation. But let's just see what comes out anyway. So let's get messages. Okay. So we have, I left when I saw you with someone. It's time for me to heal now. I wish I had treated you better. We have, we both know that I'm not the one for you. It was my fault, but I blamed you. And the timing just wasn't right for us. And then at the bottom of the deck we have, I couldn't let you get close to me. So there's a few things going on here. It could be different messages for different people because it's a big group that I'm reading for. But they're pretty straightforward. You can read them as is. But I left when I saw you with someone. For some of you, maybe you were with someone else or they were with someone else. It's time for me to heal now. That's pretty straightforward. That at the moment, and the cards did kind of say that as well, that they're busy healing, or that you're busy healing, or both of you need to heal. And also this one, love yourself first, that's also about healing. So I wish I treated you better. For some of them, they might have mistreated you in the past, or you them, or both of you. Usually takes 2 to tango, so it could be a case that they regret the way that they treated you. We both know I'm not the one for you, and that came out on this could be the one. So I'm not too sure. Maybe some of you it's the one, and some of you it's not the one, or maybe they feel like they're not the one even though they are. Maybe they feel like they're not good enough and they need to work on their confidence, which one of the cards did say that they have an issue with their confidence, or that they're insecure. It was my fault, but I blamed you. So it could be that they messed things up, but they didn't want to take accountability for it, or they were just going through a tough time that they couldn't take accountability for it, so they blamed it on you, or something along those lines. And then the timing just wasn't right for us. That's pretty straightforward. And I couldn't let you get close to me. Some of you, maybe they felt like they needed to push you away because it was just too intense for them. So that's it for the love messages. I'm going to move on to your career messages now. Okay, Sagittarius, so again I have pulled the oracle cards. So the first one that came out is full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. Sometimes you need to weave a bit of magic, and sometimes you need to be practical, and sometimes you need to find a combination of the two. This card suggests that this is where you are now. You need to use the laws of attraction to draw in what you want by imagining it, expecting it, and welcoming it. But you need to balance that with taking down-to-earth steps towards your goals. This isn't about wishing on the moon and hoping for the best. It's about making something like a list of bullet points about how to achieve your dreams. If you're asking about money, this card heralds a change of financial fortunes depending on both your past actions and what you're expecting and therefore attracting. Write down 10 things that you know are wonderful about you. Laziness could explain your current situation. If so, change that and own it. Chasing money doesn't work. You need to chase a dream. Jealousy or envy create negative energy and attract negativity, and more exercise is called for. So we have the balsamic moon, and that is a time for healing. So putting this card suggests the past is in the past and a bright future is beckoning. However, before you take this next step, make sure that both you and the situation feel healed. This is not the time to paper over cracks or to simply pretend that everything is okay. Rather, you still need a little more time to heal and to soothe both yourself and anyone else in need. Then remind yourself that anything is possible if you believe it. This is also a time to surrender and wait to hear guidance from the universe. Powerful insights can be had if you know that someone or something really isn't good for you. This card is a reminder to surrender. Start to work on your belief in your dreams so you're ready when the time comes. When one is healed, all are healed. It's time to let go of the past. You're about to turn the corner. You need more time to heal, and think about how the situation would look if everyone were healed. So in a career sense, basically this is pretty straightforward. So you need to have a practical plan with your dreams, and then once you have that practical plan, you also need to basically take the actions in order to do that, and then use the law of attraction, law of assumption, and that type of thing to bring that in and manifest that. And then with the balsamic moon, it's a time for healing. So it could be a time that maybe there's something that happened in your career that kind of hurt you quite badly. Could be maybe that there's people around you in your career that you need to forgive or heal or that type of thing. But just focus on healing yourself so that you can handle people who aren't healed in your surrounds in a way where it doesn't affect you. So first thing I want to ask is the past energies in your career, Sagittarius. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. And then at the back of the deck, we have the Knight of Cups. So with the Ace of Pentacles, you seize an opportunity that promised growth and stability. It was a successful start to your venture or your career, if it's a business or that sort of thing. And you were enthusiastic and had clear vision for the future. It's kind of like you planted your seeds of hard work and determination, basically. Then with the Knight of Cups, so you probably pursued your career goals with passion and followed your heart over your head. You also could have had like a vibrant energy and chose passion projects over some sort of grounded opportunities. So let's see, what are the current energies in your career right now? Sagittarius, please. So we have the Devil, and then at the back of the deck we have the Six of Wands. Sorry, I'm just putting that Six of Wands there as well, because just the naked people, they don't like that. So I'm not going to lift the Devil up, but basically you could be dealing with some sort of unethical practices or greed or a stressful work environment, but whatever it is, it's taking a toll on you. You could also be involved in a situation that doesn't really align with your values, or you could be dealing with maybe unhealthy pressure or competition. Basically just seek a more balanced and ethical approach. Then with the Six of Wands there, again, I'm not going to lift it up because I just need to cover that, but the Six of Wands is about success and recognition and maybe advancement in the career. So some of you could be getting a promotion, or at the very least there's some sort of job satisfaction or achieving a milestone. But basically your efforts are recognized and rewarded. So I'm going to see, what is your next goal? So we have Justice again, and we have the Emperor. So with Justice, you want fairness in your professional life. You might also want a work-life balance, because Justice does have Libra with the scales there, so it is about balance. You could also want resolution to legal disputes, because the Justice card does have to do with law and legalities of things. And you could also value maybe ethical and fair practices at work. And then with the Emperor being at the back of the deck, so the Emperor is kind of like the father of the tarot, so you could want to be in a position of authority or have more structure and stability, or just security in general. So let's see, what is the advice for Sagittarius? So we have the King of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Three of Wands. So with the King of Wands, especially with the Emperor, so if you do want to be go for maybe a managerial role or something like that, you are a natural leader and have entrepreneurial skills as well, but basically it's telling you to be bold and be decisive and just take the steps in the direction that you want to go in. You also just need to be passionate and enthusiastic and just use these traits to motivate people around you as well. And just make sure to have a plan to basically embody that King of Wands. Then with the Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck, so you could be ready to explore new opportunities, but just be willing to take the risks to achieve success and step out of your comfort zone. You could also need to use creativity to your advantage, but just seize any chance that comes your way with the Three of Wands there. And then the last thing I want to ask is, are there any obstacles or any blockages? So we have the Eight of Pentacles, and then at the bottom of the deck we have the Ace of Swords. So with the Eight of Pentacles, you might need to acquire more skill or learn something new or have the dedication, because this is a card of maybe studying or something like that. But stay focused and committed and it will lead you to success. Then with the Ace of Swords there, so you might also just need to embrace some sort of rational decision making or maybe clear communication just to be successful. So that's it for the career reading. I'm going to move on to the messages from, or the advice from Spirit. Okay, so again, I've shuffled the oracle cards. So I'm not going to read from the book for this one. I'm just going to explain them to you. So we have birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. With this one, basically, it talks about how you can create the life that you want and that you need to work with Spirit to kind of co-create that and manifest that into your life. Then with the Priestess, it says, how are you being called to step up and lead? And with that, basically, it is the same as the Emperor card, basically. So you need to lead in a way that you feel like you've wanted someone to lead you, and take the first step, basically. And it's also very similar to Make the First Move card that was there. And then we also have Take a Break. So a life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. So that's basically exactly as it is. So take a break or take things easy. It's basically saying that you have time to get everything that you need to get done. So you don't need to just constantly work yourself to death. Like, take time to enjoy the beauty of life in general. And then lastly, we have here, don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? It talks about how we change ourselves to fit in with certain people or certain situations or circumstances, and that you need to shine your light to be who you are, and that might even inspire other people to shine their light too. And if it doesn't matter. Shine your light anyway. Be who you are. Don't change who you are. So I'm going to pull some tarot just for some general messages. Okay, so we have 3 cards popping out here. So we have the Three of Wands. Again, we have the Ten of Pentacles. And we have the Five of Swords. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords. So with the Three of Wands, basically the advice here would be to explore any new opportunities in 2024 and just be willing to take risks and step out of your comfort zone in general. With the Ten of Pentacles then, so the Ten of Pentacles would be advice would be just to work hard and just be determined and reliable and stay positive in general. With the Five of Swords, so I feel like the advice would be just to assess any situations of conflict or competition, and just reflect on how to approach issues in a more constructive manner. Also, it could be that you need to communicate effectively and just be willing to cooperate or compromise. And then lastly, here at the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords. So that advice would be just be assertive, be determined, charge forward fearlessly, but just be mindful of any risks or consequences, and then just stay focused and maintain clear vision. It is also just saying just to take action and seize any opportunities as well. So that's it for you, Sagittarius. I hope you enjoyed your reading. If it resonated, please do give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It does help my new channel grow. But thanks very much for watching, and have a good day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care.